That's the castle that overlooks the city of Ljubljana, which means I am in Slovenia, the least visited country in Europe by all counts. I'm not even wearing motorcycle clothes, so I know what they're doing here, but what am I doing here? Is this a tourism film? I received an email from Adriatic Moto Tours, a Slovenian company that specializes in motorcycle touring in the Balkans. They wanted us to come out and ride with them, and they thought that a 6-country, 10-day tour they had custom made for an Indian group would be perfect. Well, the Redliners are a group of passionate riders from Bengaluru who rapidly accepted the two of us PowerDrift staffers as an extension of their close-knit group. That was a great start to a promising trip, and within minutes of leaving Ljubljana, I was settling in to the group riding dynamic as well as to my ride for the next 2,800 kilometers, the Honda Africa Twin, the one with the manual transmission, one of 140-odd motorcycles that Adriatic offers. So yesterday was a fun day. Our first day, 200 kilometers from Ljubljana in Slovenia to here in the Plitvice area of Croatia. People getting used to each other, that kind of thing, simple, nice roads. It was fun. I got yelled at my first border crossing for not having my international driver's permit on me. But here we are, day 2, 400 kilometers to the city of Sarajevo. The ride to Sarajevo is not spectacular by the standards of what lay ahead, and it was a long day in the saddle with just the bare minimum of big highways on the route. We were in what used to be Yugoslavia, a mountainous country bordering the Adriatic Sea, a place where a lot of history has happened.
I can help you leave all of those troubles behind. 'Cause baby, don't you know I'm the considerate kind.
But this is one of the most beautiful parts of the world too, and Sarajevo is the shining lantern to which all of us are drawn. Appropriate then that we arrived after dark.
I can take your troubles away.
Slovenia, Croatia, and now Bosnia. This is the Turkish quarter of Sarajevo, a city that was created by the Ottoman Turks and has a huge Austro-Hungarian influence on it. It's a melting pot, it's a place where things come together. And that's what I want. I'm in an exotic place on a great motorcycle. All I need is a friend to ride with. And I think I know just the place to find one. Having Anand Dharmaraj of the TW School and Indimotard along made the ride even more special. Not only could I say that I rode in Bosnia, that sounds good, doesn't it? I did that with one of my dearest friends and motorcycling idols along for the ride. That is awesome. But the scenery we were passing through was even more outrageous. Welcome to Montenegro. You enter through a stunning canyon road that we rode as fast as we dared under the watchful guidance of Adriatic's Dusan Tomsic, a hilariously fast road rider and an extremely knowledgeable guide. We were headed to Durmitor. That's a stretch which is a series of hairpins that climbs up and inside a mountain face, leaving behind the azure waters of the Mratinje Dam reservoir and the Piva Lake. Except that most of this road is actually inside the mountain. It's a narrow series of tunnels with hairpin bends inside the tunnels. It's spectacular if slow riding. What a rush! And it opens out onto a road that is marked panoramic, and the signs are superfluous. This stretch of road is as narrow as Margot Robbie's waist, but the road curves through the rolling countryside. It's so spectacular, you just want to stop and take it all in. Getting to Žabljak took forever, but it felt like we arrived too quickly. The scenery, the road, I'm still blown away. I still can't mix words, but they're telling us that all of Montenegro is like this. It's all mountains and gorges and mountain roads, and it's absolutely spectacular. But on this tour, another day, another country, and today we're going to Kosovo. But before we do that, that's the Tara Canyon Bridge behind me, deepest gorge in Europe. It's a beautiful place. Montenegro gave way to Kosovo, a country so new that it makes the iPhone 11 Pro Max look old. And it's such a huge contrast to the Balkans so far. We entered the country and were immediately in the chaos of a market in Peš. And it felt so good. Traffic flowed, but with a randomness that I felt at home in. People stopped to wave and smile at our convoy of fast, exotic-looking bikes. Kosovo, all the way to Prizren, our stop, felt spectacular. After a ginormous dinner at Prizren, we were headed for one more of our rapid-fire border crossings. This is Macedonia. Well, now it's called North Macedonia. And this is one of the jewels in its crown, Lake Ohrid. Place so fabled that it used to be in the textbooks in the Yugoslavian days. All the schools would have their picnics here. A lake so large that it's got seagulls and beaches. And on its banks, history. This is beautiful. Ohrid is considered as one of the oldest human settlements in Europe. It finds mention in the Greek documents back in 353 BC. And it has everything from Roman buildings, Byzantine architecture, spectacular little churches, streets that look like they were built centuries ago, which they were, and a 3 million-year-old lake the size of a sea. This is a place you could come back to 1,000,000 times before you got enough of it. And when we left the town of Ohrid, we didn't get far before we found the monastery of Saint Naum, our last pit stop.
Still see your face when I close my eyes. You're always on my mind. I said I wouldn't let you go, but I did. Is there any chance that I can make it all okay?
From North Macedonia to Albania today, and we're going to Tirana in the capital.
Walk through the streets all alone, searching for a way.
But I'm really excited about Albania because communism meant that the country was locked for a long time and they were kind of backward, but they're really hardworking people and they're really catching up. Our stop in Tirana was just too short, but walking into the Skanderberg Square will take your breath away. On two sides are buildings so large, you have to turn your head to see the whole of them. Clearly, this was communism's gift to Albania. But just outside the square is what could easily pass for Europe. The contrast is intense and hard to grasp. This is the unexpectedly beautiful corner of Europe, and our guides pointed out that the change has been wrought over the past 3 to 5 years, which is amazing. But the next morning, after our customary briefing on the roads, places we passed, and a history lesson on the new country we were headed to, we went for the most recognizable place on our itinerary. So today is a long ride, 350 kilometers from Albania into Montenegro, which is where we are, into Dubrovnik in Croatia, and oh my god, what great roads. We've been running next to Lake Skadar, the biggest lake in the Balkans, and the views have been just fantastic. So we've been going slowly, taking it all in. It's a very different experience from trying to go fast through the twisties. This side of Europe is just stunning. I'm telling you, it's just stunning. You cannot be prepared for the descent into Kotor. It's a small historic town set into a bay surrounded by tall mountains. The GPS produces a squiggle of lines as hairpins cascade down from the mountain into the town. And on our day, a cruise ship stood silently in the bay, dwarfing the town and messing with your sense of scale. All this at sunset. I would have died a happy man right there and then. But instead, I made myself a more pragmatic promise to return to Kotor one day. So that is the fabled city of Dubrovnik, where we came down from the mountains onto the coast yesterday. It was made famous by Star Wars and the Game of Thrones, and unfortunately that means it's full of people today. There's like 1 million people inside, and that's why we are out here on the water. Now, tomorrow onwards we are riding the coast, and they're saying that despite how amazing it was, the best roads are still ahead of us. Can't wait to see it. That beautiful sunset, well, dusk now, is happening over the coastal city of Zadar in the north of Croatia. Our arrival here means we have one more day before this trip is over. But what a great ride today. Coastal roads all the way, beautiful, beautiful scenes and fantastic roads. This is special. Can't believe this is over. 2,400 kilometers done, 400 more to go back to Ljubljana, 6 countries already. This has been a great trip. The Balkans are perhaps the most unexplored part of Europe, and it's surprising because this is such a great place visually. The people here are so nice. This was a fantastic trip, and if it is not on your list, put it on your list. This is where you want to come for your next ride. It is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I did this. It's your turn now.